Welcome everyone. Today's video, we're actually going to pot up those ASDA Clematis. So I bought these 3 for £5 a couple of days ago. I'm going to pot them up today. I'm going to show you where they're going to stay for a couple of days just to acclimatise to our weather, because I'm sure they've been grown somewhere beautifully in Europe and they're not quite ready to go out. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. Then also we need to do a little bit of tidying up and tying up on some old clematis that I've got. Really important job at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So just before we get into it, anyone else's bananas looking pretty decent at the moment? Now we've had a couple of frosts here in Staffordshire and I haven't wrapped mine up. I knew I said I was going to if it comes on to cold weather. I was going to chuck some fleece over it, but I haven't, right? And they have not skipped a beat. Quite honestly, they're looking absolutely amazing. So, let's get cracking. Now I did think the weather had come out lovely and I was going to bring a table out and we'll do like a little bit of potting, a little bit of a demonstration. And it's just spitting with rain, so you might just see me go in and out of maybe the summer house or outside. Where I can be outside, I will. So these pots I've got for these young clematises, I was very lucky. I got gifted from Julie. Julie, thank you very much. Can we just appreciate how beautiful they are? Now, when it comes to size of pots, when you're buying plants, I always say go double, if not triple the size of the plant that you're actually buying. These are not even in a 1 litre. They're not a 9 centimetre, a little bit bigger. So anything double the size is ideal for getting your plants going, right? You can put them in this huge pot. If you put them in a massive pot like this, all that happens is the nutrients in that pot, when it rains and when you water, very often it can get just washed through, if that makes sense. So if you've got a smaller pot, twice the size, it's enough to go at for the plant, if that makes sense. There's enough nutrients in there for the roots to find and things like that. You'll find if you put it in a big pot, if it's a very, very fast growing plant, then it's usually fine. But general rule of thumb is the nutrients will actually get washed out the pot, either raining or when you water it. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes bigger isn't always better. At least that's what I'm told. Well, it's peeing it down. I don't know if you can hear it. So we'll do the planting up in here. This is what I cleared it out for. I'm excited to have it. I'm going to show you the 3 different varieties of clematis that I bought. Tell you when they flowered and things, when they due to flower, and all that sort of good stuff. And then we'll get into the actual pot in itself. And also, very important that we need to give it a support, because it's actually going to be grown up the summer house on some independent struts that I'm yet to sort of fit. All great plans. So let me know down below, do you have like several ideas? Do they all come to fruition? Do they all make it? Most of mine do, but I'm a little bit of a dreamer sometimes. First variety I bought, Dr. Rupel. Look at that, it's absolutely beautiful. I actually think I've already got one of these, which I've actually put up the washing line support. Absolutely beautiful. Flowers very early summer, and I've done a little bit of a guide on zones when it comes to clematises, so be sure to check that video out. I'll put the link in the description down below. Just gives you a good indication of when you need to be pruning it as to when it flowers, as a bit of a rough rule of thumb. So that's my first one. Absolutely beautiful. I'll show you them first before we get into the planting. Dr. Rupel. Second one, Arabella. I absolutely love the eyes on these. We just call these the eyes. Absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a different colour. These 2 varieties will be going on the supports. And then I've got a slightly different one to show you here. Again, these were 3 for £5 and the quality is fantastic. Finally, the Tritinator. Can't even pronounce that. But look how different these purple flowers are. Very, very small and delicate. I actually want to grow this up my wall in my tropical style garden here at the rear. But I'm going to pot them up for now. Look how lovely that looks. So I was wrong, they are in a 9 centimetre, so anything double the size of these will be absolutely fine. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of these into those lovely pots that Julie's very kindly gave me. And before we get into it, I do apologise for the light levels. It's blue sky over there now, but the filming lighting isn't great. Bear with me. I'm just trying to be consistent with you guys, film every day, get a video out every day, and make the most of the time that we have, just like I'm sure you guys do in the garden. Whether you see a break in the weather or it's just before you do your shop, you're just going to get out for half an hour. That's exactly what I do. Can't be the only one. So compost, all Clematises need is a multi-purpose compost, nothing special. When I do have some fertiliser, I'd normally add that in, so anything like bone, meal, fish blood and bone or grow more, that can just be added in with your compost to enrich it. I find that banana peel works a treat, so if you guys love a banana, then just simply, instead of putting it in your brown bin, peel it out and then get it into your bottom of your pots, mixed in with a bit of compost. It works wonders. Just appreciate how good that is for actually the money. 3 for £5. I think that's fantastic. So, planting rules. I don't want to tell anyone how to suck eggs. I say this a lot, but I do find some of you guys leave me some lovely comments when I do give you some details like this. So, just as you can see where it all stems from, that is exactly where you need your level of compost. Okay, so as soon as you pot it in, really good tip is you can actually pop it in as it is, put everything around it, put the compost around it and pull the pot back out, take the pot off. I've done this many a times. That's a really good tip, but I just tend to go for it. Always squeeze the bums and they come out of the pots lovely. Look at the root systems on that. Now this is probably the best tip I can give you. So when you're actually coming to support your plant, don't put a new cane straight through the middle of the root system, if that makes sense. What you want to do is create a bit of a teepee or triangle over the top, just so this is going nowhere near the roots. It doesn't need any root disturbance while the plant is this young. It's a really common mistake that people make. So this is literally one cane I've cut into 3. So, and I use this expression a lot without telling you how to suck eggs or showing you how to suck eggs. Simply put 3 over the top. And I'll be tying them up together. Just like so. When it comes to actually tying your Clematis or Climber up to the support, you need to give it plenty of room to actually move with the wind. What you don't want to do is tie it too tight. As soon as you get a big gust of wind, it will just snap the plant straight off. Again, I'll give you a close up in just a sec, but you'll see what I mean when I'm finished. Ideally, I'd use a larger cane on one of the supports, just so we can run this higher. I actually haven't got it, I'm under-prepared. But I'd use a taller one, just for when this grows. I probably will add a 4th one in, a little bit taller. In fact, if I can find one, I will do that. And something I promised myself I was going to get better at, and that is the label. I'll show you where I'm going to put this for a few days. Like I have explained a few times, going from the growers to your garden isn't always easy for plants. So I'm going to have this in the summer house for just 2 or 3 days. If you haven't got a summer house or greenhouse, then just pop it up against your house. That'll have its own sort of microclimate, a little bit warmer, and then put it into the place where you actually want it for the season. I'm going to go ahead, put this in, pot up my other ones, but I'm feeling really good about this. all I'll simply do with this, two things. One is water it if it needs it, if it stays in here a little bit longer than I want it to. The other thing is tie it up. So just simply a little bit of twine as it grows, tie it up, not too tight as it grows. And then what I will be looking to do is take these supports off altogether and attach them to one of the main beams when it comes to the summer house. That's obviously in the future, but that's the plan, and I think they'll look great. For the money, an absolute steal. That is the original cane, which I'll be leaving in, to be fair. It's not going to do any harm. Can take it out. Completely up to you. And then this is how I'm tying these up. Can you see? It's not actually being tied around these. These are still free to move in the wind. Same for this stem here. And then what I'll do, as this grows, I'll do exactly the same. It will be wrapped around. And it's got a little bit of room to go. And that is it. I'm going to get the other one in a pot. I'm not going to tie that up. That's going to go in the garden. But again, it's going into the summer house for a few days. You know, I think spring can actually feel quite overwhelming at times. There seems to be such a lot of jobs that need doing all at one time. And I'm genuinely thinking about doing my own calendar when it comes to gardening jobs. Because I need something to keep me on track. I need to know when things flower, when things need cutting back. You know, and it needs to be set out for me in a way that I find it really easy to follow. Because even me, a very experienced gardener, and I was in the industry a long time, I still get overwhelmed in spring about all the different jobs that I've got. I'll show you the summer house beam project. I'll show you what I mean about what I want out of it. Again, it's another day's job. That's what I'm looking forward to. And that's all that's happening with that one. Brilliant plants for the price. So originally the summer house had two supports either side. I don't even know what it's called, where like the overspill of the roof goes. I quite like it as it is, but I'm always thinking about, must have been a reason why that was on, so I'm going to kind of do the same thing. Lucky enough to be getting some of these from my father-in-law. Just underneath, these are where they're going to sit, so I'm going to have one each side. So when I do the roof, these will be attached, and then it's going to have a new felt over the top. So I'll be able to screw these from the top down. And then I'm going to put some brackets on the bottom and fix those like that. So the climbers in pots are going to sit either at the side or just in front, and they're going to get wrapped around these pillars. And I think they're going to work really well. And for, you know, a couple of pound, I think they're going to look absolutely smashing. So I am lucky enough to have some more climbers in the garden. They need tying up as well because they're putting on some lovely growth. So let's go ahead, get that job done, and then I'll be wrapping this Clematis vlog up. there we have it. I'm sorry it was so backwards and forwards with the weather. I'm just trying to do my best in between these really interesting showers we're having at the moment at the end of March. If you did enjoy it, then please give it a big thumbs up, as it really does help the channel out. Drop a comment down below, as it helps share it out to others who love gardening just like we do. Until tomorrow, I'll see you in the garden. You take care.